Hey everybody, welcome to Peden's Garage. And today we're going to be taking a look at panel lines and how to make them look a little bit more realistic. So well, I guess we can call this a panel line tutorial. There's a couple different ways one can go about doing panel lines on their models. There's some a little more in depth, some that are easy. I'm going to go the easy route and show you how I do them on mine. Now, one of the other methods, the other method that takes a little bit more time is you take the color that you painted your body and you darken that color and then you add it to the panel lines after you've painted the body. The way I'm going to show you is doing it with a black accent before primer and paint is applied to the body. Even with that, sometimes you still need to go back after you primed the body and added a color coat and may need to retouch the panel lines up a little bit depending on how heavy of a coat of paint you're putting on. If you're using a spray can, airbrush, sometimes you don't have to go back and touch it up. Spray cans, yes, because they put out a lot, and if you're heavy-handed, you can easily fill in the panel lines and cover up that work. So we're going to start with from Tamiya. There is a panel line accent color. I believe they offer 3 colors: black, a gray, and a brown. I started using this, but it makes a tremendous mess. It's a wash, so it's very runny. I do actually use this for other things besides panel lines. It is a great wash. I recommend having this in your arsenal, but I don't necessarily recommend using it for panel lines because it's a mess. But it does work well for the most part. The way I've moved on to using Gundam markers, not to be confused with goddamn markers. It's black. It is a fine tip marker. They're relatively cheap, about a couple bucks a marker, and they work pretty well. A couple of the tools sometimes you need are your panel line scribers. Yeah, this is a Tamiya one. From Tamiya, it comes out this little blade that pops out. Spare blades in there. This is from Bare Metal Foil. This is Bare Metal Foil. So you can actually read it. Okay, well, it says Bare Metal Foil on it. It's from Bare Metal Foil. Start off with this. I like using this one more. It works a little bit better. It's a lot sharper. I have been adding panel lines to places that don't need to be with this one. Very much easier than that one. That's one thing you got to watch out with panel line scribers is you got to be take your time when you're in the panel lines. Sometimes depending on the kit and whatnot, you may not have to scribe the panel lines any deeper. This is from Mishima. It's their Lancer Evo X body, the Sea West kit. The panel lines are pretty deep actually, so I'm not actually gonna deepen them anymore with the panel line scriber. Let's gonna get to the meat of this one and get started. It's quite simple. Let's take it and we'll just trace it. We'll go back here and we'll trace that one. Nice. We'll go all the way around. Alright, so now that you see we have it traced, you probably say, well, that's a mess. That you're outside the lines. You're absolutely right. So, that's what we do now. Take a bottle of rubbing alcohol. Take a little rag. We're going to dampen the rag a little bit. the alcohol, and I'm going to take it and I'm just going to rub it on the body. Just rub it over the panel lines. And voila, looks. Got a little bit of a mess down here. Obviously not 100% perfect, but for the video, kind of get the point there. Now you can see it looks so much better. Now we would apply. Now I'll go ahead and I would primer over it, and depending on, I might have to touch it up again. And to show you what it looks like, here is, yeah, look, another Evo Party, painted, and just painted with a spray can, and you can see the panel lines do have a little bit of depth to them, and that's your whole point, is you want to add depth to the panel lines. You don't want the color. You don't want the panel lines to stick out. You just want them to add depth. Look like there's a little bit of shading in there, like which would be on a real car. There's going to be shade, and there will be darker areas of shading inside between the panels. So that's quite it. That is the panel lines. I used the same method I just showed you. Did the panel lines, primed it. I did actually go ahead. I did on this one. I did touch it up before I in between after the primer and in between the color coat, because spray can you do get a lot more paint. So there was a couple touch-ups on this one. Normally, the whole point of using a panel scriber is you deepen the panel lines, and that gets your accent into the panel lines and deep, so when you paint over it, the paint doesn't cover up the panel line. So like I said, in most cases you would want to probably take the panel line scriber and deepen the panel lines enough so when you add your accent, it gets deep down in there and the paint can't cover it up. And so sometimes these markers may not work, so you might have to use a panel line accent color, or just make up your own wash and get it in there. So I think that's it. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. It doesn't take long to do. So I think that we're going to call that a day. Thank you for watching.